bro, our whole life purpose for the last 2 months have been this fight. Time away from family, you know, like, do I really want to be here all the time? No, but this is what it requires if you want to be great.
A lot of champions training here. Great family, boxing family around the world.
From former world champions like Claudio Morero here to guys that are coming up, you know, and developing, you know. There's undefeated guys, former world champions, current, you know, world contenders.
There's like room there and everyone just stays in here, all different fighters, you know, so it's a fight gym, you know. It's not a boxing class gym, it's a fight gym.
The boxing world is buzzing with anticipation as Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu prepare to square off in a high-stakes battle. Each man is walking into the ring completely sure of his own power and game plan. Spence relies on his deep well of ring experience and a cool, collected mindset. Tszyu, on the other hand, brings fierce pressure and an all-out attacking style that never lets up. Both competitors are hungry to prove themselves. Fans expect this fight to be incredibly tight, with no easy rounds. Every 3 minutes in that ring will count as both boxers lean on their technique, fight IQ, and raw will to come out on top.
I want to fight somebody who's gonna get me up for the challenge. And they said, what about Tim Tszyu?
Errol's been out 3 years. You've been in championship bouts. You've been in wars. You've been very active. Do you think Errol made a mistake by picking you in his comeback fight?
Yeah, it's definitely not recommended, you know, to go straight into the firing line. It would have been better to start off slowly, but, you know, on his caliber, he feels like he doesn't need tune-ups, which is fair enough. But yeah, it's going to be fireworks from the opening.
Not long ago, Errol Spence Jr. gave fans a behind-the-scenes look at how he's sharpening his skills ahead of his scheduled clash with Tim Tszyu. In that session, he put serious time into pounding the heavy bag, showing intense concentration and dedication. The power and precision behind his punches were clearly on display, proving that significant effort has gone into preparing for this crucial showdown. Throughout the workout, Spence kept a consistent rhythm while demonstrating solid balance, smooth movement, and excellent ring control. He seemed completely locked in on fine-tuning every aspect of his performance, from his combination punching down to his overall stamina. The footage made it clear. This is a fighter who leaves zero room for chance and takes every stage of preparation seriously. As he moved from one drill to the next, Spence looked driven and self-assured, executing each exercise on purpose and with confidence. His gym effort revealed the mindset of an athlete who fully recognizes the size of the challenge waiting for him and is determined to peak exactly when fight night arrives. With the Tim Tszyu bout drawing nearer, Spence keeps pushing his limits in training while keeping his eyes fixed on the prize. His relentless commitment and work ethic suggest he is doing absolutely everything possible to step between the ropes in peak condition and turn in a powerful performance when it matters most. During a recent media workout, he offered fans another inside look at how he's getting ready for his next bout, and it was clear just how locked in and determined he really is. Right from the opening moments of that session, everything he did had a defined goal and a high level of self-control. Each exercise he ran through proved there's no wasted time when he's inside the gym. His punching looked crisp, tidy, and fully measured, with excellent rhythm and precision behind every shot. He moved around the space with self-assurance, and his physical cues made it obvious that his attention was fixed squarely on the obstacle waiting ahead. Even with cameras rolling all around, Spence handled the workout like genuine preparation, never turning it into a performance for the crowd. He remained composed, dialed in, and made certain that each movement and sequence was executed correctly. Anyone watching could easily spot the sweat and commitment he's been quietly investing behind closed doors. This session also painted a vivid portrait of where his head is at as fight night inches closer. Spence came across as driven, razor-sharp, and battle-ready, showing all the signs of someone building up to a serious showing. In short, that workout delivered one loud and clear takeaway. He's focused, well-prepared, and completely devoted to putting forth his absolute best once he climbs through the ropes. During a recent press conference and stare-down, Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence Jr. found themselves nose-to-nose in a heated build-up that instantly grabbed the attention of both the crowd and the press. Tszyu carried himself with solid belief, repeatedly stating that he feels more than ready for the test ahead and fully trusts his own abilities to get past Spence. He made it a point to highlight that his rhythm, non-stop aggression, and current shape put him in a great spot to come out on top. Spence, stepping back into action after 3 years away from the ring, spoke with a calm sort of assurance, arguing that his history of thriving in big fights still makes him a serious threat, even after such a long hiatus. But Tsyu's team and followers made their thoughts clear. They think that long break will be a deciding factor, hinting that Spence might be jumping back in too quickly against a fighter who is still in his peak years. When the two stood face to face, neither man so much as blinked or took a step back, which only turned up the heat in the room and drove home just how serious this matchup really is. That exchange added another layer of excitement to the whole event, leaving fans eager to find out if Tsyu's self-belief will turn into total control inside the ring, or if Spence's ring wisdom can shut down all the questions surrounding his comeback. All of this has only fueled the ongoing debate. In a fight like this, does the advantage go to youth or veteran know-how?
I'm coming for it all. And thank you again. Victory is mine.
During that same press event, Errol came across with a relaxed yet solid self-belief, making it known that he thinks he has every edge necessary to get the better of Tim Tszyu once they finally meet inside the ropes. Spence pointed out that his time competing at boxing's top tier has gotten him ready for any kind of approach Tszyu might bring, and he left no doubt that he's walking into this matchup fully convinced of a win. Standing opposite him, Tszyu kept his own cool demeanor intact, firing back with resolve and repeating that he feels totally prepared for whatever lies ahead. The stare down between the two only grew more heated as neither man looked away, which only underscored how significant this fight truly is. Spence went on to underline his ring-savvy, shot selection, and knack for steering big moments, suggesting those elements will end up making the difference. Tszyu answered by talking about his own hunger, constant forward movement, and never-stop attacking style. The mood in the room signaled rising excitement, with reporters and fans picking up on what promises to be a tough, back-and-forth battle. Both guys walked away from the event standing by their own forecasts. But Spence's tone came off as especially sure of himself, driving home his claim that he'll be the one controlling how the fight plays out and locking up a win once fight night arrives. Strong certainty shining through every word of the exchange.
I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to put on a great show. I can't wait for July 26th to be fighting in Australia, to be fighting in front of his fans. I look forward to disappointing.
Tim Tszyu recently gave fans a peek inside his Miami training camp, revealing just how seriously he's taking his preparation for the next battle on his schedule. He's grinding hard each and every day, zeroing in on developing his power and raising his overall in-ring performance. His daily routine features tough running workouts designed to increase his endurance and maintain his body at peak condition. On top of that, he devotes plenty of hours to boxing-specific exercises where he sharpens his coordination, precision, and footwork. Every practice session is built to gradually refine his abilities so that he can deliver a stronger showing once he steps between the ropes. His overall training plan follows a well-organized system and a straightforward framework that keeps him disciplined and on track. Tszyu is leaving zero room for chance as he gets ready for a tough test ahead. The sweat and commitment he's putting in make it obvious that he's totally dedicated and prepared for the upcoming fight.
Been working hard in the background. He's got a new team, new training regime, new training processes, and he knows to be the best, you've got to fight the best.
They got sparring today, so all the kids sparring today, so it's pretty cool. Every Friday they have it on.
Oh yeah, he's the champion.
We used to have this when I grew up, when I was like 13, 14, 15, and to see the same stuff happening here, the sparring days, everyone from different gyms coming along, and it gets real cool, man. It's a cool buzz. First time we came to the gym, we just felt so welcomed, you know, and I think that's what allowed me to stick here and feel comfortable.
Inside this exclusive practice clip, Tim Tszyu is seen driving himself through grueling heavy bag drills as he gets set for his next matchup. Each strike he throws demonstrates real power, sharp concentration, and a clear desire to elevate his game. He moves at a consistent rhythm, keeping his mechanics solid while developing both strength and stamina round after round. Those heavy bag segments really underscore how devoted he is to getting ready and just how many hours he's logging inside the gym. Tszyu stays completely dialed in throughout practice, letting zero interruptions throw off his flow. His motions are crisp and well managed, proving that he's refining both his physical force and his skill set. That kind of training speaks to his strong work ethic and his dedication to showing up in peak form when the test arrives. As fight night approaches, his commitment inside the gym makes it clear that he is doing absolutely everything in his power to be fully prepped for a hard-fought contest. According to Mikey Garcia, stepping into an opponent's home nation adds a whole new level of strain and trouble for any fighter. He pointed out that the local competitor typically draws extra energy and self-assurance from the audience, and that boost can end up shifting the outcome inside the ring. In this specific matchup, Garcia thinks Tim Tszyu stands to gain a great deal from having loud hometown backing behind him. Garcia also noted that the environment inside the venue, the roaring crowd, and the stress of traveling while getting used to unfamiliar surroundings can all throw off a boxer's game. He suggested that those kinds of elements might turn this into an especially rough night for Errol Spence Jr. in his view. Going up against a sure-of-himself, non-stop attacker like Tszyu on his own turf could wind up being one of the toughest challenges Spence has ever faced. Garcia believes that everything, from the energy in the stands to the overall setting, might end up playing a huge part in how the whole fight plays out.
Since the Crawford fight, yeah. 3 years, maybe 2 years. That's a good fight for him to come back, because Tim Tszyu is also not at his prime anymore. He's been hurt, he's been knocked out. So that's actually a pretty good matchup for a return. It's also a good matchup for Tim. If he beats Errol Spence, big name, he gets another shot at being bigger. So that's a good matchup for both, actually. But he's going to Australia, so that's a little iffy there.
No, plus when you travel that far, it takes a long time to adjust to the weather, the food, the time. Yeah,
I could be a little tricky, but matchup-wise, it's a good.
Over on the Porterway podcast, the crew takes a thorough dive into the looming clash between Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu. They examine each boxer in depth and talk about what every competitor brings to the table. The conversation centers on their strong points, weak spots, recent outings, and overall shape heading into the bout. The group also discusses the distinct fighting styles of the two athletes and how those approaches might mesh once the bell rings. Some feel that Spence's ring savvy and ability to dictate the pace could give him the upper hand, whereas others argue that Tszyu's relentless pressure and attacking nature could create serious headaches. The discussion features a range of viewpoints on how the contest might unfold from round to round. Each analyst offers their own forecast based on tactics and technical ability. In the end, the podcast really drives home just how tight and uncertain this matchup could be, demonstrating that both guys hold a legitimate shot at victory, depending on how the action actually plays out once they're inside the ropes.
The problem for Tim Tszyu against Errol is going to be that jab. What does he do against that busy, constant jab
Errol
from on Errol's
jab,
side?
right?
Yeah, Errol just keeping that jab in his face.
Yeah.
I mean, when Bomac prepared for Terrence, he said that's the number one thing we got to take away from him. He fights off his jab. He gets confidence off his jab. He builds off his jab. He dominates you off the jab. So take the jab away, and we got the fight won.
Right.
Tim Tszyu is not Terrence Crawford. So I don't know how he deals with that jab. Again, I think Errol's bigger than him. He's at his best busier than him. But Robert Garcia said today he thinks Errol won't have anything left by the time they do make that fight.
He's really like one of those master kung fu artists, but in boxing. You know what I mean? So he's a masterful boxer. You know?
Yeah.
And so those are the kind of things that we're looking at Tim Tszyu that doesn't have that kind of stuff.
Tim Tszyu has touched down in the United States to kick off the home stretch of his training for the upcoming title bout against Errol Spence Jr. right from the moment he stepped off the plane. It's been obvious that the Australian is treating this trip as all business. He's now completely settled into his practice surroundings and has shifted his full focus onto the test that lies ahead. Tszyu views this journey as a major milestone in his career, fully aware that this matchup comes with huge pressure and high expectations. Everything he does is built around practice, self-control, and staying in peak shape for fight night. There's zero room for distraction in his game plan as he keeps getting ready from both a mental and physical standpoint. His arrival signals the beginning of a critical stretch in his camp, one where the level of intensity will only continue to rise. Tszyu is entirely dialed in and driven to take full advantage of this chance once he climbs through the ropes to face Errol Spence Jr.
To just get comfortable, be able to just be in the place where I'm going to be fighting.
And what have you been doing in terms of training? Are you ramping things up?
Yeah, no. Well, the thing is, we're so far away. Yeah, we're so close as well. So the main thing for me is just to be able to not burn out. And yeah, we're taking it day by day. I feel much stronger. My fitness, my gas tank is much better. Yeah, and the main thing is, I get excited and I just want to go hard, but you gotta be smart in this business.
Keith Thurman has weighed in on the scheduled showdown between Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu, offering a thorough breakdown of what each competitor brings to the table. He analyzes their fighting styles and discusses the potential edges that either man might hold in this matchup. Thurman also highlights several key elements that could influence the outcome, including extended periods away from the ring, how well each boxer handles weight cuts, and any adjustments they've made within their training camps. He notes that those kinds of details can heavily impact performance, particularly when competing at the sport's highest level. In his view, both Spence and Tszyu need to remain razor-sharp and completely prepared if they intend to keep their places as serious contenders in the division. He also stresses that staying consistently active and being able to adjust when faced with obstacles is crucial for success. All in all, Thurman delivers a fair assessment of how this fight might push both athletes in very different ways.
A lot of people see it as a 50-50. Both fighters been through a lot.
Spence had just too big of a layoff. That's the biggest question mark. When your layoff is long, no one's seen you. They don't know what version of you that they're going to get. And of course, they're going to analyze you off of your last performance. Your last performance was not that good. So what version of you are we going to see, But, well rested, if you take care of your body, you recover, you get your mental game straight, athletes can make tremendous comebacks, tremendous turnarounds. So we just got to see. But, Tim Tszyu, he's been having some little tune-up fights. He's trying to work with new trainers and, enhance his overall ability in the ring as a boxer. So it's going to be interesting, but, we know he's vulnerable. He's been dropped a lot. He's been hit and he's been, stopped. So both of them, have some battle scars, let's say, So for that reason, I think Tim Tszyu has the advantage of activity, and then Spence has the advantage of pedigree, right? He's been at another level.
He also gave his take on which boxer seems to hold the bigger edge entering this matchup. He took a close look at both Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu, comparing their respective strengths, ring experience, and current level of performance. He pointed out that small factors such as timing, physical conditioning, and how recently each has been active inside the ropes can end up making a huge difference when competing at this tier of the sport. He also considered how the two match up in terms of fighting style, forward pressure, and ability to command the center of the ring. In his assessment, both guys have solid opportunities to win, but certain variables could tip the scales slightly in one direction. He didn't completely write off either fighter. Instead, he offered a fair-minded perspective rooted in what he's observed from their previous outings. Throughout his breakdown, he made it clear that this figures to be a closely contested battle where the upper hand could swing depending on preparation and how well each executes when fight night arrives, making the eventual result something well worth watching.
I feel like he's really done more, been in the ring with more world-class fighters, and had some victories against solid world-class fighters where Tim Tszyu has not been as victorious when the opposition really hits that A class, So that's the way I break down the fight. I say Tim Tszyu staying in motion benefits him, but the pedigree and being an Olympic boxer, just different overall things that favors Spence. But it's a solid 50-50 because they both just have some questions that need answers, and we'll get our answer come